Okay, we're
Definitely
recording. So, can someone tell me again how Hector the Gallant, the Paladin, enters the group?
Okay, so upon our next day after our fondness and festivities of, having shown everyone else around town and things like that, Orest will probably go back to his normal, thing of passing out flyers through town, attempting to find anyone that might know of the location or anything, untoward in the realms of the unliving that he can deal to. One such individual, probably, near the Temple District, given that, if he's just arrived in town he'd want to visit to, would be the Temple of Seeker, and he's probably been approached and handed one of said stupid little flyers that has the, last week's Ghostbusters message essentially attached to it, which might catch his eye.
Yep, cool.
Just to, this is obviously the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm sort of speaking for Ruskov here, but I know that the first thing we were planning to do, and I'm not sure if G's included, was to go to number 9 and get Ruskov's approval to use magic within the city limits.
Okay, the Hall of Bureaucracy is its big official title. And then down the sides, in beautiful oak, is carved, in very flowery language, where the peruser of the arts of combat may find permission and license to practice there. It's all very flowery language, and then you've got a whole lot of other stuff over here. What you sort of get is this is sort of it's not an adventuring guild as such, but it is the point where you can start to be registered to start creating your own adventuring party, at least be able to practice your skill set in or for the people of the town. Of course, as you go through this, you'll notice that there is a tax. So you have two basic ways to do this tax. It also gives you the, if you don't do the tax, so either upon receipt of money, you can, and you must keep your receipts, you bring that back to this location, you show them the receipt signed by your patron of what you got paid. They will then work out the taxable amount, take that from your earnings, or you keep all your bills, and every 6 months you must appear at this office with all of your paperwork and the amount that is required. Most people, established people, once they've got big enough names, choose the latter because they have the wherewithal to do that. Initially though, it would be much safer for you to do the former.
Pay the tax, yep. And just checking, is this the same place we can get the peace knots taken off of G? Off of G's battle axe, etc.?
The peace knots can be pulled at any time. However,
yeah, I mean, you could just take them off. Are you allowed to walk around town with them off at all?
Unless you are engaged as a bodyguard or a caravan guard that is has all the right permissions by the person who employs you. So it's the person who employs you. Basically, there's two contracts. They have a contract with the city to say, I can hire these people. You have a license to say, I can be hired for this job. So in both ways, the city collects a whole lot of tax, but basically, you've only got to worry about your half of the agreement.
Yep, alright.
Yeah. Until then, you're peace knotted.
Yeah, that's fine. I would just assume that first stop in the morning, if Orest was going to be handing out flyers, we would be heading there to sort out our business.
All good.
And would that cover use of spells in city?
Sorry, Russ, I didn't quite get that. Something
would that cover the use of the spells in the city?
Nope. You've got to go over to the seats of learning for that and find the magic establishments.
Yeah, alright. Well, I'll be doing that directly after.
Okay.
Directly after we go to get work.
Okay, so G, you rock up. If you've had a look in the player's handbook, you actually understand common, and you can read and write common at your level of intelligence. But that's that. You can't do anything else until your intelligence changes. It's when it falls below a 6, I think, is when people can't read and write. But you've got an 8, I think, or a 7.
7.
7. So you're just in. You can read and write. Basic. You can't read huge, long, complicated things, but you know. But that's okay. That's what you got your friend Rus there, because he can read and write common quite easily. And you trust him, don't you?
Rusk.
Until he casts a charm spell on you, then
I was gonna say he's so mage. No.
Yeah. So okay, what you do with that? So anyway, you rock up. You see lines of people, which leads into a big hall, and the hall then, like the lines, break into several different professions. You sort of go into. You're sort of directed to, this is the one you want to be in if you're wanting to hire your sword for work. So you wait there, you look, there's around about 30 people in front of you standing in a line. Doesn't seem to be moving very fast. You can see one irate person who is told by the guards to be quiet or they will remove him. He decides not to listen to them, so he gets removed. Which is great because your whole line moves up one forward. Whew. Okay.
That's good stuff. Reeza's sort of getting impatient, like she's looking around. She wants someone to talk to.
Okay.
But how fast is this line moving? Like it's sort of moving along slowly. She'll be alright.
Be slow. She at the speed this is going, you're looking about an hour and a half.
What?
Yeah. Well, don't worry, you paladins have it much easier. The religious types, they get
that.
so many advantages. Anyway,
fucking religious types.
I know.
Does he wear like his insignias openly on?
Yes, you do.
Hector?
Yeah, definitely. It's actually good. People feel quite good that there's people around that are there to protect them against any undead that may happen. Okay, so finally, you get to the front. They ask for a form.
I wasn't told anything about a form.
This gentleman looks down at you with these like pince-nez sort of glasses and goes, okay, and he pushes them up. He reaches over to the right, he pulls out a form, and he sets it down. We'll do it here. So if anyone in the line gets upset about it, remember, you weren't ready.
Yep.
Name?
G. Jacques Esquius.
How do you spell that?
J-I.
Right.
And
Okay.
go through.
Yep. Okay. Rightio. And your racial lineage would be
Half orc.
half orc. Which half of you is human? Mother or father?
Mother.
Okay. Name of mother. And he takes it just from the human side, where you were born, all that sort of stuff. Okay. Rightio. Rightio, and what weapons do you wish to register with your work?
Battle axe and hammer.
And that's it?
He's all locked in the bedroom.
Just would like to tell you at the moment that if you don't register anything else right now, you won't be able to use it until you come here and attain a variance with your order, and it will cost you another 5 gold pieces. Are you sure?
Battle axe, hammer, sling. Does a shield count?
A shield? No, that's fine. So, okay, radio. And it
things
says,
that flash, things that break stuff.
Yep. And are you taking option A or option B to pay your tax?
The pay now one.
Option A, rightio. And then he goes through some really silly questions. Have you now or ever have you been in any other city withheld by the sheriff or agents of the sheriff for investigation in any crimes? And he goes through a whole lot of those sort of things, which of course you're going to say all the right answers to. And eventually after that, you can hear some people at the back yelling. You see the guards moving in.
Get on with it!
Yeah. And eventually he says, rightio, he spins around, he gives you a scrib, a feather thing, and he dips it in the ink. He says, right, sign, and he crosses it, sign here, here, and here, initial here and here. And he gives you the pen.
I do so.
Okay, rightio, so that will be...
Inventing my signature on the spot.
Yep, and then he takes it back, and then he says, and he's got your address. He says, right, so, and that will cost 15 gold pieces, thank you.
15.
15, he says, yes.
It's a bit fucking heavy.
Yeah, I thought it was less than that. I only have 13.
Then I hope your friends here that have come with you can help you.
I will cover a little orc.
Massive smile, please.
Mm-hmm.
I'll chuck in the 2 gold required.
Okay, rightio. He says, hang on a second. So he gives you, you get a copy of all this. He says, don't lose that. An official order will be issued to you in 1 to 5 working days. Then you may look for any work. He gives you another sheet, says here are the laws that apply to you in your work. Also, he goes on about how at the moment there is a, if you wish to go, there is an insurance fund down in one of the business areas that you can pay into. Should anything happen to you, then they will cover certain amounts of damage if it's done in your work to protect your wage, in event of illness or loss of limb. So he says, I suggest you do that because most people in your line of work don't tend to, and then they are sorry because once they can't pay their way, they get another issue. It's called issued out of the city.
Ah, yes.
Rightio, he says.
Is there any way I can earn money in the meantime before my license comes through?
When your writ comes through to you. Thank you, good day. Next.
Walk away from the line.
Okay, you got your piece of paper. Which
You're
means,
a cat.
Yep.
Bullshit.
Yep. So what that means is until you get your proper writ, this one allows you to look for work, but you can't start work until that day that you get the actual paper. So between now and 5 days. So, but you can start looking for work.
Yeah. Can't do work.
No. But that's life. Then you start toddling over to the sets of learning. Okay, Rus.
Rus.
Yes.
There are so many buildings here set aside to academia, to learning, to... You see buildings that are set aside to just specific fields of learning magic. You've never sort of thought of that before. There's also what's called the High Seat. And the High Seat's where you're going. The High Seat is a collection of powerful mages. They're responsible for the pairing of apprentice to mage. They're responsible for the licenses for creating magic. You also hear some people talking about that they also have the key to hold some of the greatest artifacts on the planet in their possession. So this place interests you a lot. So
Very interesting.
yep. So you rock up. There's hardly anybody in this place. So you wander up to a person behind a desk, and she looks up at you. She's very beautiful. You realise suddenly that she's half elven. And she says, "Can I help you?"
Hello, friend. I am looking for permission to use magic in my employment.
Ah, so you've newly arrived. Tell me, who was your mentor?
My mentor was a great man named Eldest Aberdor.
Of Oxcross?
Yes, of Oxcross.
I remember him going back a few years now. How is he? Obviously a lot older. How is he?
he makes an honest living.
Of course he does. Many people, and she engages, in a lovely, polite this conversation. She says, "Please sit down." Then she magics up some hot tea and some cakes, little biscuity cakes. Says, "Please have some." And she just talks to you in general first for a couple of minutes, just very sort of about just general things about Oxcross and about your current mentor. She realises then that you've got friends with her. Sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say, what's happening with us? Because I thought I was there as well.
Mm.
Where's
She
my tea and
realises-
cookies?
Yeah. She says, "Oh, if you'd like to just wait over there, there's water. We'll just be a moment. Sorry to keep you waiting."
Cool, I'll grab a cookie and walk off.
Yeah, the cookies walk away from you on the table. She says, well, it seems that you're not of the arcane kind. I'm sorry, sir.
I stand beside G and I stroke his arm.
Magic biscuits for
see.
magic users.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
They're high
So, she
society.
Just reach.
Fuck 'em
in.
all.
So those of you who are having a hard time right now, okay, so she talks, so she asks you what your interests are, what your study field is, have you sort of started to think about specialising in your field of study of magic and what that might be, and she takes down your address and all sorts
All I
of
can
stuff.
all I can imagine is Roos going, "Yes, blowing shit up."
Yeah, so she says, transformation, huh? Okay. Elemental adjustments, of course.
Not transformation, evocation.
Yeah. Okay, so, anyway, she gets down to the business. She says, now, the city does charge quite an expense for us to be able to practice magic within the walls. If you were also to be able to join as a provisional member of the High Seat, then you will eventually find that things will be a lot easier. But most people don't have the 40 gold pieces to initiate that.
So if I join the high C, oh sorry, I'm losing the accent.
Yep.
He's gonna say, it's hard. So,
Yep.
for 40 gold pieces, I can join seat and have easier time in city.
Yes, there's still another pay that you have to do for the city tax, but if you do join the High Seat, that does give you access to some of the buildings that contain arcane work. It gives you a space to study those things, and as you rise through the different levels of the High Seat, it gives you greater access to greater spaces and hopefully abilities and powers.
How much is city tax?
That would be 15 gold pieces.
13,
15.
15.
Yep.
These fucking magic types.
You think that I will pay city tax and get some employment, at which point I will join High Seat?
Very well, she says. So we just need to fill out these forms. You look at them and, okay. Radio. It's all of about half an hour. And she really emphasises the fact that the High Seat has worked really hard to become part of the city. We're working hard to become part of the bedrock, to be so enmeshed in the city that they really don't want to actually remove us from the city. So we do ask that if you're going to do any sort of experimentation, that you do so once you've joined the High Seat in the appropriate spaces. We have various areas that have been protected with magics that won't allow it to leave that area, sort of thing. So and she says, I look forward to meeting you when you are a member of the High Seat.
I look forward to meeting you again too.
Okay, so she says her name is Ariel.
Ariel.
Ariel. A-R-I-E-L. Ariel.
Yeah, I was struggling with the letters, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. There we go. She says, I wonder. Okay, I'm just going to start using the random name of tavern. Here we go. Boom. What have we got? 91. Great. We're right at the other end. 91. Okay, she says. Have you a chance know where the Salty Scuffer is?
I could find it if I needed. So.
She says, well, most Thursday nights I don't work, so I'm usually there with some of my friends, and it's a lively place. So the Salty Scuffer is a little tavern, she says. She directs you into down here, this area here. Yeah? So you sort of know roughly where it is.
Yep, I'm just writing it down. Sorry.
Yep, the Salty Scuffer, Scuffer. So she says, yeah, and she'd like to see you there, introduce you to her friends, and talk more.
Once I pay tax, right? Once I pay tax, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Well, cool.
It was very nice to meet you. I hope to see you again soon.
And you too, Rus. Right, so you do that. So basically, you have everything you need now to find a job to practice your magic in town.
Cool. Quick
You
question
also-
out of game.
Yeah,
Had the
yeah.
money.
Wait, his license is finished already? He can do
Yeah.
magic? Bullshit!
And it came with tea and cookies, mate.
Mhm.
Jealous?
What about us? We walked into the temple, just flung around some holy symbols.
You wait till you see what the religious get. Yeah, sorry, your question out of character. What did you want to know?
Sorry, I'm hoping she didn't just straight out forget, but has our little Reza, is that your name again?
Yeah, Reza.
Yeah.
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 Hey,
that
and
little-
again, it's the first Reza. It's
Oh,
the
is
only
it? Sorry.
Reza.
My bad.
Yeah.
The only Reza.
Excuse me. Does she need
It's
to
the
get
definitive
permission-
Reza.
Does she need to get permission to work, or?
Depends on what she
All
wants
it
to
takes
do.
is
She's
for him
working
not to-
as
Yeah.
Her prostitute's
She's-
license.
She's got some
Yeah.
difficult times to
Don't
decide
know
what
if
she's
I need a
going to do.
whoring license, but yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
None of my weapons were
Well, it
openly
depends.
concealed.
which one of the other two is your pimp?
Yeah,
wow.
pretty much.
I think Ruskov is leader, so Ruskov is pimp.
Right. Ruskov is not going to enjoy meeting Hector then. Most
Yeah,
paladins
he's
don't
definitely
tend not to
enjoy
leave.
meeting Hector.
Yeah.
That was out of game.
No,
Yeah,
I
then.
Yep.
I'm not that skeezy.
Rightio. So, meanwhile, in the temple
at all.
district, the paladin and the cleric of Seeker are talking to some clerics and established fathers there. The fathers are saying, we are very honoured to have you from wherever you come from, because you both don't come from this town, do you?
No.
No.
Well, why would I be staying in Pistol if I was?
Yep, that's what called. So he commends you on your character and your servitude and to the cause, being close, just in case. We haven't had any problems for at least 20 years with those who are resting the long rest, but it is good that you're nearby should that be required. And you, brother, the mighty arm of the Church of Seeker, what can we do for you?
That'd be you, Ron.
You're muted at the moment, Ron.
Point me in the direction of dead people walking, so I
Yeah.
may smite them.
They've just said
You
that
are
there's 20
so
years worth of-
inspirational, he says.
Yeah.
Is there nothing we can do for you to help you prepare for that?
Healing potions would help.
I will send my brothers to see if we have got any spare to give you. We could provide you with a vial of holy water.
That would be helpful.
Okay, so they... Rightio. You guys have to scrape.
all-
These guys get it given.
I'm all out of holy water right now.
Rightio. Okay, so they
I've
go
got one
fetch
vial.
you a vial of holy water, and the priests they return. Although these aren't complete potions of healing, they will heal some. So he gives you one each. So basically, these are like going to do 1d4 points of healing.
Little unguent.
Yeah.
Healing.
Yeah. So you've got one each.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the difference, guys. These two are committed to a code, so therefore they're supported because their code helps everybody. You
Was it
guys,
1d4?
1d4, yep. You other three, you can run around and just throw merry hell to the air and just do whatever the fuck you
Is there
want.
any public libraries or anything like that that might pertain to?
Oh, they have a
last
library.
time?
They have a
Oh, yeah.
library. Yeah, definitely. They
That
have a library.
pertain to the last time The Walking Dead was seen?
Oh
where,
yes,
why?
yes, certainly,
Mm.
certainly. Of course, there are rules about the brothers get the scrolls and they open them and turn them. They're cold and great.
Yeah.
Also,
just wanted to
they have a
any-
reliquary of holy artifacts. So you can go and you can get blessed and all that sort of stuff. Do you both wish to be blessed?
Oh yes.
Okay, blessed. So if anything happens now
I
for the
will.
rest of the day, you're at a
will.
+1.
I'm open to blessings on a daily basis.
Just today though, just to rub it in the others. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. Your day is spent in this quiet discussion, exploring what happened last time and how it was overcome, in spiritual reflection, in brotherhood, and in
Maybe in some kind of arms sparring training, or
no, not here. No, that
not with
that
them?
would be you'd go to the main barracks, where a group of brothers who do that training are there.
Alright.
Yeah, so you could go there when it's appropriate for you to do that.
Mhm.
But yeah, basically fellowship. You've got lots of fellowship. You share a meal. You might do some work
So-
for the church.
What's Hector wandering around with in terms of weaponry?
Where you, Hector?
I have a bastard sword.
Okay.
I do not have a lot of money, so I have a bastard sword and a dagger at this stage as my backup weapon, with a shield and some scale armor and a small helmet.
Right.
Yep.
So my chainmail / things. I do comment though. How does the sword we hear that the Walking Dead tend to be resilient to cuts and scrapes and tend better to pulverizing.
True, but he can use the flat of the blade.
They don't tend to argue much when I cut off their head.
Right. Okay. So basically, just so you two know, as long as you are not harming the citizenry or damaging the city, apart from in the or creating panic, apart from in the interest of ensuring that the undead don't create a problem for the living, yeah, you don't
We're
need any
pretty much
special
good.
writ. The church will cover you.
Lovely. My brothers, I feel that you have been very good to us in the giving of the holy water and the healing potion. Will you join me in chant as we chant Mandatum Novum
Of course.
together?
Of course. So they drone on Mandatum Novum, Domine Padre, and all the other stuff. That's awesome. Yep. So you guys are spending the whole day in fellowship and all that sort of. Yeah. Break those bloody bones and slash their heads off. Grind their bones into the ground. There we go.
Straight up fuck them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so you guys
As
spend
long
the
as
day
it's not
doing that.
I was gonna say, as long as it's not the Monty Python's Holy Grail one where I have to beat myself in the face with a board.
I was
No.
ready to go all Canterbury Crusaders Super Rugby on you, but you know.
Okay, so
Okay.
that's pretty much a
So
snapshot of your
I
day.
will take young Hector back to Pistol and
Yep.
see if he has needs of finding accommodation, given that we've found a reasonable boarding house.
So it is of extremely poor quality. It's your perfect place because I mean that you don't need opulence. It's also very close to those three areas.
The cemeteries and the mausoleums and the ossuaries.
Yeah. And the other thing is it's extremely cheap. A silver piece for a room of your own for a month. Doesn't
Oh,
include
a month.
food, but you've got a room.
Yes.
Whose room?
So it would be about
So,
this time that the rest of the crew come in from their busy day. You see a female in... Sorry, I've forgotten what armour she's wearing, Matt. Is she wearing armour?
I believe it was studded leather, right? Do we?
Okay. Yep,
Hang
that's
on,
all cool.
hang on,
That's all
hang
cool.
on. It was studded leather. No, leather, standard leather.
Okay,
Yep.
leather.
Yep.
Okay, she's wearing leather. Remember though, you're in town, so you don't really need to wear armour, but if you want to, that's fine. It's not... You're not brandishing any weapons. But anyway, so is
She was
her leather,
wearing
or-
it.
Yeah,
She was wearing her leather with a cloak over, but
right.
yeah, I mean, what situation are we in? Are they sort of just standing in the street and we?
No,
we
you're in
sort
the
of walk up?
house, the hostel, and you can
Okay.
see Brother Orist showing this incredibly handsome-looking man into a room next to his.
Yeah, I'm very interested about that, to be honest.
Okay, and the other thing is
At
he's
the
got
sleep out place to bring people in.
You can't hire your room to anyone else. There's no subletting.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if he's the call guy for the. And I know a cheap place. Come stay here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I'm the one that's receiving, my room for free because I've managed to get all of you in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The mates rate.
Yep.
Figure.
So he is carrying a bastard sword on his back, and he has a similar symbol to the priest. And he's... Did I mention he's gorgeous?
You did mention he's gorgeous, and I sidled up to him straight away.
Right.
I'm the fighter pilot of the Paladin world.
Well, I stroke his helmet, and I sort of just look at him in the eye, like he's a bit of a ride, So
Keep going. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
it's so hard.
Oh, you're doing so well.
He's a bit of a ride, so I sort of sidle up to him, and I sort of get next to him and just sort of brush up to him, and put my arm between his, and I sort of look him in the eye and say, "Who are you?"
So there's this young woman who's
Are
very
you sure
forward.
that Hector the Gallant isn't about to become Hector the Chase?
Oh, he's already become Hector the Chase.
Hector the I don't give a fuck.
It only took one look.
He really doesn't.
My lady, I'm Hector the Gallant.
Hope none of your vows had anything to do with sex, to be honest.
I'm a paladin.
That was out of
from a
character.
far
That
off
was out of
land.
character.
I'm a paladin from a far off land.
Well, I liked you, and I'd like to get to know you more.
I feel I need to get this out of the way right now, that I have taken an oath.
You've taken an oath. Well, that's just fucking stupid.
Mm.
I jab him. I jab him in the side with my elbow and just sort of step away slightly and look sort of shy, but I'm just don't know what to do, to be honest.
Rightio.
So I just sort of step back. Yep.
Okay, so actually encountering a male who seems to have control of his pants is a new experience. Well, normally she controls their pants, but basically hasn't been successful this moment. Yeah.
Yeah. He's. What is with this? What's happening?
Yeah. Okay, so you see a half-orc who's sort of watching this, and I believe is slightly...
Just quietly chuckling.
Yep, and I think beside him... Now, I can't remember if Rus was slightly shorter and slightly pudgier or the other way around.
Same height,
Okay.
and I think
How would you describe them? How would you describe them in reality?
They're the most flamboyant things. Yeah.
Rus is in basically just a basic robe, honestly.
Okay. Is it pretty
Something
well
that,
worn?
yeah, it'd be well worn. It's something that you would imagine a hedge mage of a local town wearing.
Okay.
Lovely.
Cool.
Oh, it's fucking ugly.
And I think that's everybody. That's the whole group now you've encountered. There are some other people who live in this house that move along the hallway. They don't actually stop and talk and stare, although several people are looking more at your bastard sword than you. Like that's quite unusual to have. Like usually it's the guards, the kingsmen, mercenaries, and paladins who carry those sort of things without a peace
Do
knot.
paladins need to peace knot it?
No, as long as he doesn't break the rules of the city, he's fine. He's actually, by the fact that he's in the city, if he's got a church there, he's actually protecting the city. That's one of his duties.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why my flail isn't peace knotted. It's probably just stuck into my belt.
Yep.
Reese is bitter.
This is why I've come.
Breeze the perks up at that. No.
Oh God, Steve.
Okay.
Honestly,
Oh, who knows? I don't know how smutty Reza gets.
she gets pretty smutty, but yeah,
Well,
we'll see later.
Okay. Cool.
She at least buys a couple. She tries harder though. She buys a couple of drinks and she tries to take him down and she tries to sit with him.
I don't think they serve drinks here, do they? Isn't it a hostel?
No, it's just a hostel. You'd have to go take him to.
Oh, it's just a hostel. All right.
Yep.
Well, she bides her time then. She bides her time.
No, that's all cool. So, are you guys going over to the God? I've forgotten the name of it.
So, the
Your,
market's not open tonight.
No, but the Molly Waggler is your tavern that was over in that area.
Yep. Okay. Well,
Somewhere in here.
As I do my ritual for the night, I will leave, do a pass past the mausoleums, the ossuary, and around the cemetery.
Yeah, you guys go around there.
And quick vigil. Yep.
You're just taking the paladin because I don't know why we'd follow that. Would we? Would we?
I'm not allowed to use my weapon, so what am I gonna do? Knock out undead?
Yep.
No, I'll turn to.
I can tell you right now.
I'll-
You probably don't want to be fighting them, with anything other than a blunt club anyway, or perhaps this fine walking staff.
I
I
wait,
didn't write stick on my
I was
license.
about to say you didn't
No,
write
you didn't.
stick on your license.
Yep. Sorry, Will.
I'll probably turn to G and Reza and say, I think we should head to the pub and try to look for some employment.
Right.
You can work.
Love it.
Yeah, she goes, you can work. Now, how do I break that to him?
To G, because we can look for work that you cannot help until the end of the week.
Right.
So you and G are trying to resolve this as you follow behind the cleric and the paladin. Where is Reza as you guys are walking towards the Molly Waggler?
Probably trying to put a hand on my ass.
Probably. Or she might just be enjoying the view.
She's enjoying the view from the back, but she's slapping both the others on the shoulders and saying, "Let's go to a pub anyway.
Okay.
Let's go to a pub anyway. We
Right.
might as well have a drink. Right.
Awesome.
We can't do fuck all for 5 days, so we might as well have a drink.
Cool. Okay, so Paladin, this lady just said, what she said, but anyway.
No, that was to G and Russ, right? The others
Yeah.
are going off on their cemetery
Oh,
cruise.
you're not following
Yeah.
them to get to the Molly Waggler.
I think we were
You're
just
just gonna
already
meet them.
following him, by the way.
Are we already following them? Okay,
Yeah,
well...
we're already following him.
Okay, so you're behind them. They might not hear it. Okay, so you make your way through the town. As I told you, some places are lit by lanterns. This main way down here is actually not lit by lanterns that are put up high. It actually, at the top of a column, somehow comes out what Rus would probably identify as a continual light. And it just sits there on top of this thing.
Wait, so sorry, we've seen something just step out with continual light.
No, these columns that are there, as you're walking, the light comes on for the night, and it's just these balls of glowing light come up out of the top of these columns, and you suddenly go, oh my god, that's continual light spells.
I'll tap G on the shoulder and in a terrible accent try explain what I see to him. Sorry.
So gee, there's nothing about combat here. Or
It's
smacking
lights.
goblins. Yeah.
Don't you have lights at home? You poor woman.
Who's a woman?
Russ.
Jesus, mate.
I don't know.
It's
Perhaps
much
he's getting
to
back
drink
into-
tonight, G.
Yeah. So you get there to the Mollywaggler. Okay, so Matt, you're first up. Give me a D100 roll.
Holy fuck. Are you serious? Alright. Yep. Alright. I just got taken out of this a little bit, so...
That's all right.
Um,
So while you're doing that, I'll just describe the Mollywaggler again. So the Mollywaggler is a low, wide establishment. It can take about 80, 90 people comfortably. It usually has about 110, 120 people in there. It's still early, so the number is sort of closer to the 80s, 90s than anything else. It's a place that you can obviously see that it's had about, I don't know, 15 different coats of paint on it. Outside the door stands a very tall, menacing looking half-orc, who you know as Bruno. He seems to be pretty affable, but he also looks like he does have a small club with him. It does look like if he needs to, he could handle most people. So Bruno welcomes you to the Mollywaggler, and he sort of gives you, Reza, a bit of a wink. Please enter, and da-da-da, and he shouts out a couple of the, like he did the night before, a couple of the best drinks to try. You enter, there's lots of stuff going on already. People talking, there's a bar there singing, wine, ales flowing, some people are over on the tables eating.
Hey Bruno, where's the local fight club?
Shh, we don't talk about Fight Club.
I was about to say rule 1.
Yeah. Hey,
I want to know if there's boxing anywhere that I can just join without having to have a license.
he says what you should do is you come to the market on the Sunday afternoon.
Sounds good.
Right.
See you there?
If you can see me, I've not done my job properly.
Sounds good.
Rightio. So you guys, the one thing, Risa, that you notice in the inn is you're trying to find a place to settle down. I mean, most of the place is packed. You're sort of making your way over to the bar itself. There's the odd hand touching you in slightly inappropriate places. You can't quite make out who it is. But I don't know, perhaps, I don't know if you're enjoying that sort of attention tonight, or it's something that's off the books for tonight.
Well, oh god, sorry, I can't keep up the accent just for this 1 second.
That's all right.
For the most part, I let it go, but if it gets too ridiculous, I slap a hand down quickly.
Okay, you do that. 'Cause-
Slap it away.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Ow!
And the
Yeah, but how close-
no,
I was
it
waiting-
wasn't G.
Hey, if
Yeah,
it was,
I was waiting for the,
if it was G,
Yeah.
if it was G, then I sidled up to him and I sort of stroked his cheek lightly and just
Okay,
sort of-
no, it wasn't
sort of
G,
give him a kiss on
but
the cheek.
the gentleman that you've slapped the hand, he says, "What is it with the barmaids in this place?"
Oh god, here I have to go.
Oh, she's
Well,
no
ain't no
maid.
fucking barmaid.
Oh, she's no
Oh,
maid.
I'm sorry, madam, he says,
Yeah.
and he sort of, because I mean, you are dressed similar sort of to a barmaid. I'm taking it you still
Well,
drink.
where the fucking barmaids wear leather armor here, do they?
Well, your low slung leather armor stuff, is that right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, okay. Well, okay, so he apologizes. You sort of turn around, you can see after you sort of comes in a medium sort of height figure stumbling into the pub, wearing a long green cloak, and they seem to fumble. He already looks a bit tipsy, just the way he's moving, and it's just a figure that's sort of caught your eye. Yeah. Can I ask Rus to give me a D100 roll, please?
Sorry.
40.
Sorry.
40. Okay, so Rus, there's a particular lady there, rather fat, very, very plump. She would be like the height of Renaissance woman sort of thing. And she seems to be drinking quite well. She's already got a couple of her top buttons on her bodice unbuttoned. And
Unbuttoned or popped off?
Unbuttoned. She is quite loud in her opinion of how the drinks here taste like pig piss. But the clothing that she's in would indicate that she's well to do. She's just wearing very nice clothes. She is surrounded by a couple of men who look more like bodyguards than anything else. They definitely don't let anyone near her. And yeah, that's sort of what you can see. You can hear her at the moment. G, D100 please. Way down the other end. Okay. God. Okay. So G. Okay. This gentleman catches your eye. He's sitting in the corner. You think he's either overheard a joke or he's obviously drunk, because he seems to be chuckling to himself and almost talking to himself. He has a long beard. He looks a bit rough, but there's something about him that reminds you of Rus. Not quite sure what it is, whether it's his clothing or his general demeanor or something. But you just see this guy. You don't know anything else about him, but you just notice that he's laughing, and you can see his mouth moving. There's no one that you can see he's talking to, but anyway, that's what you see. Yeah? Oris, can I get you to roll a D100 for me, please? You see a lich? No. Ah, God, what about the other end? Cool. Okay. Right. What you see is an incredibly tall being. You're not sure what race he is, but what you notice is he's wearing a dark cloak, and he's trying very desperately to hide how tall he is. He's trying to slouch, he's trying to squish himself down, he's doing all sorts of things. He doesn't look comfortable on the bench. It's one of the bigger benches. His legs have very great difficulty fitting under the table, and he's trying to drink a bowl of soup. The spoon in his hand would look like a half-sized teaspoon. He's obviously oversized, or everything else is undersized for him, and he seems to be quite uncomfortable or nervous, or you're not quite sure what word it is to describe him in this situation. And finally, Hector. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you go.
Oh, I was gonna say, if he looks like, is he on his own?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Once I get some food and things like that, I may go and attempt to sort of sit down with him, given that I'm also a tall, lanky bastard. At least together we're going to look like we're of the same size,
okay.
And everyone around us is just a midget.
Yep. You sort of guesstimate that he'd have another 1.5 feet on you if he stood up tall.
Okay, right. So I'm going to have to do the opposite. I'm going to have to try and sit up to make myself look taller, to be the exact height as him, so that we look like a pair, and everyone else is the odd pricks out there.
Okay, I'm going to have to ask you to write another one, because I can't do that one right now. Hector.
Someone just picked a fight. Ah, oh, damn it!
No.
Barbara.
Hector, you've seen an extremely ample woman sitting on a very nice wooden chair by the fire pit. You can see that she's covered head to toe in tattoos.
Oh, I like pictures.
Yeah, her clothing would suggest that she possibly could be a dancer. You're not sure, but she
reads like a Where's Wally.
Well, possibly. She is near that sort of stage where the bard is playing at the moment, and she's as best she can, trying to do some stretching motions. Yeah, that's all you see at the moment. But she's just caught your eye just because of all the tattoos, and then sort of looking. Yeah, actually, yeah, she goes all the way from the top to the bottom, and they're not ugly. They actually enhance her beauty.
Oh.
I
I might sidle on over there and have a closer look at those tattoos.
Okay.
Is this Hector we're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
He can look but not touch.
Exactly.
So she sort of looks up and she says, "Can I help you?" In a very thick accent. You're not quite sure where she's from.
I was just admiring your tattoos.
So
I wondered if you might share the story behind that one. And I'll point to one on her shoulder.
Oh, she says, "Well, I would, but I'm about to start my dance. Perhaps if you're here afterwards with a drink to wet my throat, I could talk longer." "I like the rum," she says.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I like the water.
Each to their own.
It's only after your fucking coin.
So she gets up, the bard sort of playing some music, and then she starts moving. And for a large, very large, ample woman, she moves very lightly, very light on her feet. Her body is very rhythmic and very... Actually, the extra weight makes her undulate even more in an unsettling motion that Hector feels something rising in his nether regions.
Yelly, don't jiggle like that.
And it's almost like she's dancing just for you, Hector. Yeah? Reza, that gentleman who came in the green cloak, he is creating a hazard, and all of a sudden he trips over, and out from the cloak rolls two halflings.
What? Two halflings roll out from his cloak? Two halflings?
Yeah, and they're just on the floor laughing and pissing themselves. And they sort of gather it up and they move quickly over to a spot and they just yell out to the barmaid for some drinks. And they sort of shake hands. You see one of them give some money to the other one. Who knows what just went down, but that's what happened.
It's all in good jest, you know?
Yeah.
It's all in good jest.
True. Gee, that woman, she's got louder complaining about the drinks. But I've forgotten what her number was.
I thought that was Ruskov.
Yeah.
I was
Russ,
going to say,
Russ.
I
You're
think
thinking of
I
Russ
had
Gold.
a Russ impersonator.
Yeah. Sorry, Roos, what was yours?
Yeah, Roos was
Roll
the
to
woman that had the whinging.
40. Thank you. 40. Oh yeah, she's getting louder, and several other buttons have come off her bodice. You think she's getting undressed? She's definitely slurring her words, and it's almost like you can sort of see her looking at the woman dancing, and you can see she's ordering the other guys to get her up on the table. This is going to be interesting.
Just out of curiosity,
This is gonna go wrong.
I can smell money on this person, right?
Oh, look, you can see a flash of a very lovely jeweled necklace around her neck.
And she's definitely looking at the dancer and not Hector.
She is.
Damn it.
Yep.
I'll just keep watching, I guess.
Okay.
Or watching the room, but her.
Yep. Okay. So you guys finally get over to the bar. You get some drinks. I'm just going to say, if you guys put aside about 10 copper each, you've got your drinks for the night, sort of thing. It's not, you're not going to buy expensive stuff unless, Hector, you're buying some rum.
No.
Okay. Rightio. So.
But all eyes are on Hector and we're in the same place, right?
Well, your eyes are on
Are
Hector.
we in... My eyes are definitely on Hector. Are we... Just because I had to take a quick skip out.
Yeah.
Side. Are we in the same place?
Yes, you're on the Merry Wiggler.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Sorry.
He moved over to the large female dancer who's got up and started dancing. The halflings fell out of their coat. Russ, the woman that you were looking at, has got louder. She's getting up on the table. She is taking her corset off, and she's trying to dance. It's not as pretty as what the dancer can do.
It's just not
Her
pretty.
undulations are
Yeah.
much more shuddering than the other ones. Yeah, at least the other one knows how to use her body to be more
Wait.
sensual.
Am I the only one who thinks undulation is a disgusting word? Am I? Seriously. Just, and not a fan.
Right. Well, then
No.
that's good. Then the one you're watching is undulating, while the other one is actually extremely sensual, and there's a grace to how she's moving.
So, Roos, which one is worse,
No,
moist
Reese-
or used?
Reese is laying low, but she's still gonna sidle up to Hector.
Okay.
Is
so
he
you
going to
get over
undulate
there.
all over him?
Yeah.
Is that the plan?
No, she's not gonna undulate all over him. She's just gonna sidle up to him and just sort of be casual.
Okay.
You know, I have a drink.
So. And
It's good we get to know each other.
Of course. So the last person is going to be 1, 2, 3. G. I need you to roll another 100, please. Okay. Okay. The other thing that picks your notice, or that grabs your notice, the dancer's not the only one with tattoos. There's an older looking gentleman with a whole lot of tribal tattoos, or they're not. They're actually tribal. They're of a specific type, markings instead of pictures, which the other one has. And he seems to be talking to these three young guys who seem to be quite attentive to every word, but you're not close enough to hear what he's saying.
Ah,
It's an old story.
Who knows?
I will move closer.
G. Well, G's heard it. You haven't.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, G's saw that one. Yeah. Unless you guys start talking, it's all laid out.
How far away is that guy?
Oh, just across the road, just across the room.
I was also wondering, by the way,
Yeah.
is the whole night passing with random rolls, or is there interaction possible? I was just waiting
It's up to
politely.
you. I've set the stage with all the random stuff. You interact with it how you feel you want to.
Are
Indeed.
we here for a reason, or are we just here because it's a pub? Because I can't buy
You
anything.
guys were looking for
You're
dinner.
here for the same
Oh,
reason
okay.
you went hunting goblins, just because.
Yeah, cool. I
Just
do want
because-
to at some point, and I don't know if it's before, during, or right now in your
Yeah.
timetable.
Go down.
I do want to try
I don't have a
try drag Reza away from her hunk, and
Yep.
try drag G away, and also politely invite the priest and the paladin Hector
Yep.
to come just have a quick drink and a word.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So
I was
you
going
find a
to,
space not right on top of, but close to that guy in the corner that you noticed before, G, who still is smiling and laughing and talking to himself as far as you can tell.
Cool.
Looking at, I'm just looking at the group. I'm going to try tailor my pitch to appreciate our new members. But hello, friends. I think that we need to try find some people in this good tavern who might need our assistance. God, going Mexican again. Sorry. Try my
you're not.
best.
No, you're not.
No, it's all good. Cool. I think we should try. Yeah, you got my message, right?
Just go with it.
I think we should be a bit more proactive on our search for employment and the opportunity to help with the, general townfolk of this great city.
Well, we got to wait 5 fucking days.
Well, actually,
that
out of game,
sounds so mail.
out of game as well, Matt. We
Mhm.
don't. We can look for work now. It's just that G can't use her axe for 1 to 5 days. The rest of us,
His
are all-
act.
In town is the other thing.
yeah. So the rest
In
of us,
town, that's true.
so 4 of us are 100% good to go, and 1 of us basically is allowed to look but isn't allowed to work. So
I stand there and look pretty.
I didn't hear anything about him not being able to use his fists of fury. So
Well, it depends on what he's doing.
Some fury.
Well, we can still do stuff out of town.
also, once again, 4 of us can
If
work.
there's
in
anything to be done out of town, we can still do stuff out of town.
but also in town, we can still do
And I
stuff
know
in town.
I'm sounding less and less female by the minute, but yeah, I can't really help that, to
That's
be
all right.
honest. It's
We
sort of
can
the
still-
alcohol and the
Keep
We can
going.
still get work in town, Matt. It's just we can't do it straight away. We might have to wait a week, but it doesn't mean we can't ask.
Yeah, that's true. Go for it. I mean, we'll do whatever we'll do.
Hmm.
Out
Anyway.
character-wise, yeah.
Yeah, I already put it to the group so someone else can respond.
We gotta make some money. I mean, we got a bit of money, but we gotta make money. I mean,
I'm,
Gotta
uh,
make money because otherwise you guys are paying for my food.
yeah.
I'm happy to make money so that I can give it to the church.
She's a noble aspiration, friend. So I also look at the group and say, has anybody seen anybody who looks like they're in need of assistance?
There's a lot of interesting characters around.
This guy at the next table?
It is good a place to start as any. And I will walk up to that gentleman at the table and say, hello, friend.
He sort of stops talking and sort of takes a few moments to recognize his... Yeah?
Would you like a drink from this fine establishment?
Sure.
I'll summon a barkeep and my friends over to the table.
Right. He gets
Well,
a
I'm
little
gonna
bit...
go over to back to the giant if I didn't even make
Okay.
it there or whatever, and sort of try and introduce myself to him. And
Okay, his name is Garth, the giant. He's actually from a race of Goliaths, but that's about as far as we'll get with that part. This other guy, if the rest of you are there, he sort of gets a bit uptight being penned in. So just, you know...
Oh, then if I'm able to notice that, I might shoo over some of the hulking members to go on the other side of the room.
Okay, radio.
I'll just keep the short and the female with us.
Okay.
That'd be me then, I guess.
Or maybe the priest. If we can
The
just
priest
like...
isn't there. He's gone to another
Oh.
table.
Oh, Jesus. Maybe it's the heart. Is he giving anyone any weird looks in particular?
No, you just once the group spreads out a bit, gives him some
What's
space,
that?
he's okay. Once the group spreads out a little bit, he gets okay.
Alright, cool. We'll back up a little bit.
Yep.
And try to take up friendly conversation with our new friend.
Okay, well, you learn his name is Rufus. He's he's here with a friend. G sort of smiles at that, perhaps. I don't know. Perhaps taking it one way. And him and his friend are actually trying to... they come from a little town down south. And they're trying to hunt... Well, not hunt. He says, no, hunt's not quite the right word. We're trying to locate a young couple, the Lord and one of his lass's daughters. She took a wandering eye to one of his young soldiers, and they decided it would be a good idea to skip the village without the Lord's blessing. So me and my friend have been given the job to try to find them and convince them to return.
So I was skipping in and out, but are we looking for a little girl, little boy?
Yes.
There's a boy. You're looking for a whispering eye.
Wandering?
Wandering eye, yeah.
Wandering eye.
And he says,
Whispering eyes
and he
stuck in
says,
nightmares.
why do you talk
It's
with such a
less than
strange
one
accent?
By the way,
Because
Steve,
I
just 2
get
seconds.
slightly more drunk by the session, pretty much. But yes.
Sorry, just one second. One
Yeah.
second.
Seconds up. Okay, now it's a dozen seconds.
Alright, sorry, I know, I'm so
Okay.
slow at typing.
That's fine, but he says, why you talk with such a strange accent?
Because I come from... because I come from far east of here, and this is how we speak.
He says, well, you speak funny.
Yeah, we speak funny. What of it?
Yeah.
We'll still find your little girl for you.
Oh, she's not my little girl.
Oh,
But anyway, he says,
we'll still
wow.
find the little girl.
So he says, so he gives you a bit of a description. and basically the little town village is called a place called Bixby, which is around about 4 days walk south of Seaforth. And the local lord there, well, he's not actually even a lord, but the local head honcho, Rufus says, is well, he's got his tits in a twist, and basically he wants his daughter back.
Is he offering suitable
Well, if he wants his daughter-
compensation?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Wouldn't know. He's got a coin though, a coin or two to spare.
Look,
Team
we'll
Huddle
speak to
time?
him first. It seems likely that we'll do it.
He says, "Why do all of you people talk with a strange accent?"
Because people get out of character too drunk to maintain their female accent. And
He's talking about your character's accent, so yeah.
and that's basically it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, to maintain the female accent is too much right now. So I'm just gonna speak normally.
That's okay, but
Well,
he's
that's
asking your character, not
He's-
you.
Talking about your
Yeah.
in-game
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, your
I'm
Irish
slurred.
accent.
I've been drunk. I can't help it.
So you can't hold your
Well,
alcohol.
I can't hold my liquor too well. But we'll fucking help you if we can.
Well, that's great, he says. I don't know if I want help though from... And he sort of looks at G if G's there. Do you trust them?
Look, G's a good guy. I've been around G
Guy?
quite a lot, and
He's not
good.
a human. How can he be a guy?
He's fine. I've been around him quite a lot. I've spent nights with him. He's fine.
What do you mean you spend nights with him?
I spent nights around him. He's fine.
Is that even
Just
natural,
just
he
stop
says?
it. Don't even go there. You're fucking.
Said, you got some very
fine.
loose morals, young lady.
Don't even fucking question me on that. He's fine.
Ah.
He's a good bloke.
He just pulls his...
He'll be with us till the end.
Yep. He pulls his...
Don't fuck around. He'll be with us till the
stool
end.
back, stands up and says, "Look, I don't think I need your help," and he sort of moves away.
What? Cause of G? Fuck that.
Yep, he pretty much ignores you, and just walks straight across the floor, out the door.
Yay, we've got a corner seat now.
Hey, you've always wanted one of those. They're great.
I'm about to say, ever since the Sea Cant game, we've never been able to get the corner seat.
Well, you got a corner seat. Yep. Okay, so you guys are sort of sitting there going,
Corner.
what the hell was that?
I'm not
Okay. Meanwhile, back at
sure
the giant table.
Garth the Gol-
Yeah.
I was about to say Garth the Goliath.
Yep. He's a pretty shy guy. He doesn't really talk a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
He says Garth, and he offers his hand. When he sees the
Yeah.
difference, he sort of takes it back and says sorry.
No, I keep extending mine.
He sort of brings it out and he shakes your hand, sort of thing.
Yeah.
They don't really
yeah.
make these places comfortable, do they?
No, they don't make places for people of yours or my size comfortable. And since I'm still shorter than you are, I can understand how much more uncomfortable that would be.
He sort of gets a little bit...
What brings you to?
Gets a bit... what's the word I'm
yeah.
looking for? Crap. Well, yeah. He
Yeah,
gets a
more-
bit uncomfortable. He's more aware
Because
of
I've
being
I've
bigger.
drawn attention
yeah,
to it.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
He
So I'll quickly
is,
change tact and see what he
Yeah.
brought him to
Okay.
Seaforth.
He was part of a caravan, a caravan.
Caravan.
That was going further south, but basically he had a disagreement with the caravan leader, not the owner, the leader, about some of the treatment of some of the people, and decided to speak up for them, and for his trouble he got tossed out of the caravan, so he's trying to work out what to do next. He knows he's got to get back home in the far north, but so he comes from a place in Moorwind, High Crest, it's called. Yeah.
High Crest.
So what sort of, like, was he a guard on the caravan? Was he...
Oh yeah, and also
Yeah.
I could almost carry anything they needed me to lift. I've held up the caravan several times where they changed wheels. But I've got to say, the owner at least gave me my
what sort
wage.
of, yeah, what I was about to say, what sort of caravan was it? What were they supposedly moving?
Oh, just the usual things, spices, cloth, whatever.
How many porters were they mistreating? Because it sounds like he might have
There was a good
gotten
half dozen of men who felt that they were, yeah.
I was about to say you might have gotten out real good on that one actually. But so how far north or whatever it is it to?
High Crest, it's very far.
Okay. Yeah.
So you have to go to Moorwind, and once you get to Moorwind, then it's around about 40 days walking to get to High Crest.
Righto, 40 days. Holy snot.
A long, long way.
Long way.
And yeah.
So he's looking to just straight return home.
That's pretty much what he's going to do. Yep.
Hell.
Yep. So your conversation sort of is around that.
Yeah.
Just in the that lady on the table, she's got down to her underwear, and it's when her bodyguards, whatever they are, they sort of are now putting screens around her and trying to wrap her in cloth and all sorts of stuff. She's right now she's sort of going off at the dancer, yelling profanities and all sorts of things. And
I noticed the stripper this late.
yeah, and like yeah, she's one, and I don't mean ugly just to look at. I mean ugly personality. She's one ugly person. The dancer maintains her composure, and she's doing all of her work. But the other one is just yeah, whatever she was trying to do didn't work. So she's just out and out now, just berating and all sorts of things. Yeah. And then finally the men get her off the table and then sort of bundle her out for the night. That's about it at the moment. That gentleman is still talking with the young guys. Risa, you sort of Risa, you sort of the two little halflings sort of are moving around, just making merry really, and just chatting and stopping and talking and chatting and stopping and talking. They haven't sort of come near you, but Risa, could you please give me actually I've got to do it.
You cough like I have to cough.
Hang on. What is your pickpockets, Risa?
D100.
Now, what is your pickpockets? What's the percentage?
Well, that is a different question. Hang on.
That's okay.
30.
Oh, they are pulling the old one person will gain the attention and the other person will pocket something.
Oh, that's so typical.
Yep.
Such a typical trait. I mean, you need at least two people to pull it.
Yep.
Divide and
And you
conquer.
can see exactly what they're doing, and then you can see them heading over to you guys.
So I've caught them doing the initial pull.
Yeah, for the other, they haven't got to your table, but they're moving to you now.
Okay, so I can tell they're about to do the pull.
Yep.
Yeah, alright.
And one of them's looking at you now, smiling widely, holding up his drink, coming to talk to you, saying, "Hello there."
Yeah, and who's around me in terms of party members?
Would be you, Russ, and G, I think. And
Alright,
Hector, are you there, Hector, or are you somewhere else?
I'm observing. I'm staying close to the priest.
Okay, so yeah, you're not there with him. That's all cool. Okay. Yep. Okay.
All right. I step forward, and being a halfling, I step forward and sort of just push him in the head, and push him down, like as if I've just pushed him downwards, and said, and then I've crouched slightly and sort of just whispered in his ear, "Don't try your tactics on me."
He says, "What
I don't want
tactics?
any of your
Why'd you do
shit.
that? Why'd you do that? That was so mean of you." You can see his friend. He's got this one's got
Well,
your
you
attention.
know why I fucking did that? Because
No.
you tried to pickpocket me. And that's
I bet-
as far as it's gonna go. So fuck off. You and your friend,
Mm,
and your man with the coat.
and he sort of gives a sort of little weird little chirp. His friend stops.
I grab him by the cheeks and sort of push them together.
Yeah.
You know, it's like so. It's like a little pout. I
Yeah.
say, "That's it. Just fuck off."
Okay, so he and his friends sort of quickly make a retreat over to the other side of the bar, where you
Yeah.
can sort of see them plying their trade.
Yeah, I don't care much about that. I just
Yeah.
as long as they're away from us,
Yep.
I don't mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's everyone except for back to the giant, or unless you're doing anything G with your other thing that you've looked at.
No, it's just an old man telling some kids a story.
Okay.
I remember that.
Okay, rightio. Back to the giant. Well, Goliath.
Yeah, the Goliath. Well, there's not really much that I can offer the gentleman other than, you know, sort of accompany some an ear to talk to for the evening. You know, has he heard it? Well, what are the rumors around north? Has he heard anything interesting coming south? I'll tell him exactly what my trade is, and had he heard anything.
Well,
buy him a couple of rounds
right.
of drinks. So
Well,
I'll
he
spend
thanks
another
you for the
copper on that.
fellowship. He says if he does hear anything and he still knows how to, if he meets up with you, he'll tell you. No, the only thing he's heard of is that the Ice Lords have made some raids in the northeastern coast, but that's about the only thing they heard coming down. Yeah, that's it really.
Yeah.
Hasn't really heard anything else.
But no, after obviously you're sort of eating and things like that, having a merry time with him, I'll, like I say, I'll probably buy us a fair few drinks between us, just to obviously, given that it's piss week and we're fairly largish blokes,
Okay.
and wish him well in the future and hope that he does make it home safe and sound.
Well, he thanks you, and he says,
Prosperously.
could he trouble you for a blessing before he leaves the night?
Oh, by all means. So, you know, sort of, you know, whip out the holy symbol. You know, bless him, wish him luck in his travels. May he never cross evil's path. All that sort of
Okay.
normal things.
Rightio. So he then pulls out of his purse. He gives you 15 gold pieces and said, "I'd like to donate that to the church, brother."
Very well then. I shall, you know, take, rather than take all 15, I'll take 10, leave him with 5, and say, put that, you know, towards your trip home.
Oh,
And,
I have more than that. I just wanted to thank you for your fellowship and for your blessing.
Oh.
And
then why thank you, I'll ensure that this goes towards the church and its cause.
thank you. And he sort of gets up and leaves. Sort
Yep.
of thing. That's where it leaves. Okay, and if no one's doing anything else tonight, that's where we'll sort of hang it up for tonight.
Fantastic.
Cool. Okay, hang on. I'll just stop the recording.
15G